Sickos Club.
Sickos Club.
Hey, come here. You like pro wrestling? We got a little something for you. Two fans, 3,000 miles away. We each been watching for more than 30 years. Celebrating the art form, the action, the homoeroticism. We ain't rating matches. We ain't analyzing stories. We ain't experts. We just sit down, shut up, and mark out! Hello, everybody. This is Blade Daily, and you're listening to yet another edition of Sit Down, Shut Up, Mark Out. And, as has frequently been the case, I'm joined by,
the toast of the third coast, ripping farts and breaking hearts. I'm filling in for Joshi G. I'm Cadillac Margarita, a.k.a. Professor Degree. Hi, Blade. I've been working on that all afternoon.
Yeah, that's great.
Did you like that? I gave a shout out to Josie G.
The human shart that doesn't start. Cadillac Margarita.
I don't like that one.
I didn't think you would.
No.
That's why I said it.
Nope. It's all right. I'll let you have that.
You're back.
I'm back.
And, it's interesting, Cadillac, because despite our mutual dislike of each other and our recent continual exposure to each other, which has been quite unwilling.
And very frequent lately.
The people seem to dislike us both a lot because I've heard a lot of good feedback about the tension between us.
You would think that two wrongs don't make a right. And they don't. They make like an extra big wrong.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I like to think that we're like we're like a Steve Austin or a Randy Savage where, maybe there's some heel heat, heel tension, but the crowd just can't get enough of it and it forces us into the face territory. Is that
No, I don't think that's it at all.
I think it's a lot like that.
I think we've got Duke the Dumpster Drosy heat. It's just bad.
You're like the goon.
Yeah, the goon.
Who's that magician guy that looked a lot like Danhausen and Sting, kind of?
Oh, fuck.
Phantasmo or something?
Phantasmo. There was Phantasmo who was on TV one time, I believe. Right. And then, Damien Demento. Let's not forget Damien Demento.
Kind of liked Damien Demento a little bit.
Yeah. Well, and he was Mondo Clean on the Indies. Yeah. And he wrestled for quite a while after that. He was on TV like 3 times. And he's just a jobber, basically. But he had an awesome gear.
Yeah. He looked cool. I remember seeing him the first time and thinking, he's got a cool alliterative name. He looks cool. But yeah, no. He just lost.
Yeah, he just lost. He lost in the main event of the first episode of Monday Night Raw to The Undertaker.
Cool. Sweet.
And great. People are already learning. Do you see? We're bringing.
I am a professor.
Jesus Christ. That was good. I mean, that's fair.
How was your Thanksgiving or perhaps Friendsgiving or whatever sort of thing you might have done on your day off?
It was a Thanksgiving, and I spent it with family and friends and people who love me because I have that in my life.
I was thankful that I wasn't around you. I wasn't recording with you. No. I didn't even think about you. I had nothing to do with you, and that made me thankful.
Bro, tell me about it. I mean, look, I was happy I wasn't around you, but also I wished I wasn't around me.
Yeah.
That's hard.
Because a lot of times when I live by the philosophy that if you're pointing a finger, there are 3 fingers pointing back at you. And the things you don't like about someone else are quite often the things you don't like about yourself.
That's a bar. That's true. That's true. And that only accounts for 4 of my fingers. So where's the other one? You know what I mean? Hey. Anyway, while we're on topic, I did want to say you guys should go back if you haven't listened to our supersized review of Full Gear that we did last week with Brett Michelle and Antoine. We talked all about it.
It was
it was good. It was a good solid review.
And we are almost a full week removed from Full Gear. So we've had time to reflect. We've had a Dynamite and a Collision in between, which is awesome. So, yeah, let's get going. Where do you want to start?
Well, Cadillac, thanks for throwing that out there. We're going to start talking about the women's tag team tournament.
Yes.
The tag team tournament of devastation and destruction.
Mm-hmm.
The tag team tournament of wrath, because the Babes of Wrath, that being Willow Nightingale and Harley Cameron, have defeated the Sisters of Sin to advance to the finals.
Mm-hmm. And totally we're channeling the Rockers with their gear. And I love it. It's awesome.
I loved it.
There's like that one promo shot where they're wearing like same color pattern, like same color scheme. That's cool. That's all I could think of.
Yeah, no, you threw that in the Discord and I was like, yeah, that's dead on. Yeah, that's like Rockers 1990.
Great. Like they're working out some tag team moves and everything. And like, I mean, Babes of Wrath is a sweet name. So yeah, obviously.
I really had Sisters of Sin taking this one. I thought it was probably going to go that way and was very surprised by the outcome. Not upset.
No,
just surprised.
I mean, you asked me about it when we did the Full Gear wrap up. I don't have a fucking clue. Like, I don't have any predictions. I have nothing. Right now, I kind of wonder if it's going to be, I mean, maybe it's just going to be Babes of Wrath versus Mina and Toni Storm in the finals. I really don't know. I mean, it seems like it would make sense to have heels win. Maybe even the whole thing, but I don't know. Maybe they're just going to be like, fuck it. Here's like two of the most popular teams against each other, and just do a whatever. I like face versus face matches.
Yeah, I'm done thinking I know where Tony Khan's going. Like, this man has taught me, and we will talk in some detail about how he has done this recently with another story. But
yeah.
He has proven to be adept at stringing you along. The conventional wrestling logic will not help you here.
No.
That's like that's like the subtitle of AEW. It's like, where the best wrestle, and then in parentheses, conventional wrestling logic will not help you here. Like, that's what it should be. Because they have their own logic to their booking that I just haven't seen before. And they've been doing it for about a year. I would say it really started for me at Wrestle Dream. I thought I knew exactly where it was going after All In 2024, and it went nowhere near where I thought it was going. And basically that's been the case persistently since. Every
single step. Yeah. I mean, I remember when we were all convinced that Ospreay was going to be challenging Mox for the title. You know what I mean?
Like, right.
And we were convinced, and that was the done deal. And then look at the storyline where it's progressed. Like, everything, I just don't even try. I'm along for the ride. And that's kind of, in my mind, like, I feel like if you're fantasy booking, and we all do it, everybody does it, I do it. I mean, I'm not criticizing fantasy booking, of course, because, I mean, you wouldn't be a fan if you didn't do it. But if I'm spending a lot of time fantasy booking, and I'm spending a lot of time saying, they should do this, they should do that, I think they're going to do that, that takes away from the show for me. I don't do that with regular television. I mean, you do to an extent. You're always kind of wondering, where's this character going, whatever. But I'm just so absorbed with everything AEW does. I'm completely along for the ride, So
I've just settled on like, hey, Tony's way better at this than me. Like, I think part of the trauma of watching WWE so long is going like, I could do this better. And knowing that you probably could, like for instance, I remembered that, these two people wrestled just last week on this exact same show, and the week before that too. Yeah. And I knew that like a 6-man tag match was going to be completely meaningless in the grand scope of things, because that's the way it was treated forever. But now in AEW, that just doesn't get you anything, by using that logic.
No, and I'm accustomed to the old logic of, if I really like this wrestler and fans really like him and everybody's really behind that wrestler will not ever be the world champion or anywhere near the main event, except for a little 5-minute window. We're still so accustomed to that.
Right.
To a guy losing the belt and going to the bottom of the card, et cetera, et cetera.
Mm-hmm.
None of those things happen anymore.
No. it doesn't seem like Tony takes a big chance on somebody he's not pretty sure about.
Right.
Like he's pretty sure about him before they even get there.
Mm-hmm.
Like, for instance, at the conclusion of Moxley's C2 match with Mascara Dorada, which we'll talk about later, Tony Storm interrupted. And I thought that was wild in and of itself.
Yeah.
That Tony Storm's, like the Death Rider music gets cut off and Tony's music comes on. Because she had made reference to Jon Moxley in another interview before this. And to watch her come down, her outfit was like chef's kiss, like absolutely perfect.
Yeah, she looked cool.
She looked cool as fuck.
And she wasn't, did you notice she wasn't black and white? Because she said something about like,
that was
weird in
weird.
color or something. And as soon as she said it, it's like, oh yeah, holy shit.
Yeah. No, it was wild.
She's moving into the talkies.
Yeah, she's moving into the talkies. And so what was crazy was that she's interrupting Moxley's time. It wasn't Marina's time.
Yeah.
But Marina was at ringside with Mox, and she was in the ring with Mox, and she starts wanting to lunge at Tony, and Mox is holding her back. And Tony starts going in on Mox.
Yeah, ripping on fashion choices.
Ripping on his fashion choices, on his how he's a huge fan of
cargo
whatever,
pants.
like cargo pants. And then Tony also said, judging by the two of us for two people who've spent a lot of time losing lately, I feel like I'm more of a man than you are, or something like that.
Yeah. Because
Mox is just belly aching and bitching all the time. And
she totally called something about being in the ring with a bunch of whiners or something. I don't remember what she said, but just
that I'm the least whiny one of us, or something like that. Like, and so that was great. Just watching her just go in on Mox to his face.
Yeah, and then Marina's like an afterthought almost.
Marina's kind of an like it's more insulting because she's not even talking about Marina until she calls him Mox's ugly daughter.
Great.
And then she proceeds to say that next week, because they won the 4-way tag match at Full Gear, she's picking the stipulation, and the stipulation is a holiday death match.
And that, I think you mentioned it during the Full Gear thing, that kind of gives them an out if the bad guys win,
Well, right.
Because they'll use that against them, obviously, There's no rules.
Knowing that conventional wrestling logic will not help you here.
It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter necessarily. Conventional wrestling logic would say that since the Babes of Wrath won, you would expect Marina and Megan to win. But I'm not convinced of that.
No.
And I could easily see it, Tony just going, you know what? Fuck it. Like, people will be so stoked for this match, and it will be uncomfortable and tense, and that will add to the match.
Yeah, because you're cheering everybody. That's nobody loses there, So I would not be shocked if that's how it ends up.
And then, I gotta say, like, this has been persistent over quite a long period of time now. AEW is getting so much better at blending the men and the women together.
Yes.
And having them cross paths. It was weird because it felt like there was this invisible wall separating them for a long time, where the women dealt with the women and the men dealt with the men.
It's a women's division and a men's division.
Right. And they were just like very cordoned off from each other.
Yes.
And now it's like, Tony's fucking cucking Jon Moxley to his face in the ring. Willow's like fucking giving people fucking the pounce, pouncing Wheeler Yuta,
and a lot of that is Mox too. A lot of that surrounds it all kind of revolves around him. And I've seen a few people mention it in various social medias and stuff that it's like, good for you, John. Like, Jon Moxley doesn't ever feel the need to have to prove that he's better or stronger or a man and a woman. Like, the Jonathan Good, the real man behind, the kayfabe, clearly is a fucking forward-thinking dude,
Yes,
and I dig that.
He is very secure in his character.
Absolutely.
He knows he doesn't need to prove anything. And in the midst of getting absolutely fucking cucked by Tony Storm, he's been tapping out on screen over and over and over again. So, like, this guy is so secure. Like, what I love is like no one has been a bigger help to the women's division on screen than Jon Moxley.
That's what I'm getting at.
No man has.
Right.
And I love it. I love it. We had somebody write something for Sickos Club recently about Jon Moxley being kind of oddly feminist.
Yeah, that's what I read actually.
yeah, and I think it's very true.
I agree.
I think it's very true. So if you had to take a stab in the dark, who do you think? I mean, just a wild ass guess.
Who's gonna win?
Who's winning these tag titles?
The tag titles? Well, conventional wrestling logic says that, it's better for faces to chase the heel. And obviously Tony Khan likes that, but I don't know. I kind of have a good feeling about Babes of Wrath. I don't know. I feel like there's just a lot of momentum behind them, and I think people dig them. But I don't have any idea. I have no clue. So I guess it's probably going to be Megan Bayne and Penelope Ford. Marina Shafir. I'm sorry.
Yes. Based on what we know this exact moment, I would also pick Babes of Wrath.
Yeah.
However,
I guess we have to see Wednesday.
If Tony and Mina win next week, I might pick them.
Yeah.
I mean, it's because I can see the logic in that too.
Well, and that's like a 1A and 1B. Like, here's two big heroes team. This is a Mega Powers kind of team, and so that makes sense, And so, yeah, I'm not going to be disappointed no matter who wins. I mean, I like all these teams.
I like all three.
The
remaining teams are all very good. I have no complaints.
At the beginning of the tournament, I had no clue and I didn't care. I liked every single team. Like, I don't mean I didn't care like in a bad way. I mean, like, whoever wins, I'm good with. That's cool. I like them all. So
yeah, well, and I think the two of us as older fans, I think you get less married to like my favorite needs to win and more like my favorite needs to be involved in something interesting.
Yeah,
and I don't care if Hangman wins every match. I just want him to be doing something interesting.
Yeah,
and be a featured personality on the show. And when I see them missing the boat with somebody, that's when I get upset.
Yeah.
That's upsetting to me. So that's the tag tournament. We also had an in-ring promo from fucking absolutely batshit crazy, unhinged Samoa Joe.
Yes. Calling himself the Sun Tzu of AEW.
Oh my God. He's fucking talking about the fucking art of war and
wearing that suit, just drenched in sweat. Like,
drenched in fucking sweat. This unhinged son of a bitch is so goddamn great. I love this man with my whole heart. It's so hard to boo him, and he tries so hard to get booed.
Yeah.
And he does a good job. He does a good job.
He's a great promo. I mean, he is one of the best.
I mean, one of the best ever. He's climbing that ladder, where him and Moxley both are really climbing that ladder. But I would say, so what I loved was they come out and the three of them, it's Shibata and Hobbs and Joe. And then Joe immediately, he knows that they could very well get attacked, He goes, bring the scrubs out.
Right?
But before anything even happens, and he's quoting the art of war, he's talking about, how he outsmarted everybody.
Yeah, he's always 2 or 3 steps ahead, like whatever you think,
And then they throw to this video package. From the moment that they tease this tension between Hook and Joe to now. And it just focuses on Hook and how this was the plan all along and how they fooled not just the wrestlers, because fooling the wrestlers is not impressive, okay? They're idiots in story most of the time. They're blind, trusting morons. Look at Sting, for Christ's sake, But like how they fooled us.
Yeah.
And this was another example of Tony Khan literally like fucking changing the way that wrestling logic works.
Yes. The way it's presented and the way you absorb
operating completely outside of the normal boundaries of what you expect.
Yes.
Completely.
Yeah. My thoughts watching it, this is what came to mind for me. And if this is just a pure coincidence or if it's intentional, I really don't know. But I'm thinking AEW has had a successful run since being on HBO Max. Hangman Adam Page is the champion of the HBO era. Hangman is obviously a popular guy. There's presumably going to be some new fans, and I don't know whether or not they're tuning in the night before Thanksgiving. But here's a video package. As you said, here's the plan that we had, A, B, C, and D, and all of that. But if you are a new fan or a newer fan, if you are not accustomed to the way that AEW tells stories, this is how we do it. We don't just do the heel turn out of nowhere that doesn't make any sense and there's no logic behind it. These seeds have been planted for weeks, for months, whatever. This is what you're in for. Start paying attention, and I totally think that, I don't know if that's what they were thinking, but that's an added side effect. It's a cool way to do it.
They knew there was going to be a massive outcry when Hangman lost. And this showed, hey, this wasn't some random ass decision we made.
Yeah, that's the other side of it.
In another way, it's almost like appealing to those people who are miffed and saying, guys, we have a plan. But what I loved about this was it showed Hook coming back, sharing his feelings with Joe that he was pissed that they went on without him. Joe going, hey, we had an opportunity. I had to take it.
Which is traditional wrestling. I'm mad that you moved on when I was injured. That is as traditional as it gets. Sorry, go on.
Absolutely. And then Hook going his own way. And that promo that he cut to the camera where he was like, it's finally time for me to stand on my own. Or maybe not.
Right.
And then they show you that when we thought that meant Eddie Kingston, because when he showed up with Hook, that was a fucking red herring.
Yes.
Right? This has been in the works. Like this, that was really, really good.
Yeah.
Like, I was like, those motherfuckers really got me.
Yeah.
They got me. Really good.
Because or maybe not was actually just referring to the whole promo he cut.
Yes.
Maybe I'm just fucking lying to you. And he was.
Yes.
Oh, and it was so good.
It was so good. And so, and then they show the rest of it building up to, Joe getting pissed at Hangman and, the whole first match they had and all that stuff. And then building to this match that they just had where Joe ends up the champion again and how Joe really did run the art of war on all of us.
Yep.
That he kept his enemies close, or he kept his friends close, but his enemies closer. Like so good. And in the midst of that, as soon as that ends, Hook comes out and cuts the dickhead promo that he's been working on for months, probably.
Oh, him and his dad have been workshopping that in the basement.
And he's improved considerably on the mic. And he's gonna be he's kind of the Wheeler Yuta of the ops with a little more cred.
Hook is the weird guy that it's easy to criticize his in-ring work. It's easy to criticize his promos, but I just fucking love him, dude. I
like Hook a lot.
There's something that from day one I've just thought he was cool. And I still do. Yeah. It works.
And think about when you think about this, like WWE, and I'm only making reference to them briefly, have been criticized pretty consistently for not being able to actually create from a base level a new star. Right. And, obviously Hook was a Nepo hire on some level because he has a son.
Sure.
But this has worked with Darby Allin. It's worked with, many, many others. MJF, for Christ's sake. When you really think about it, you got Samoa Joe, you've got Will Hobbs, you've got Katsuyori Shibata, you've got Hangman Page, Swerve Strickland, and Eddie Kingston all working to get Hook over.
Yep.
That is pretty fucking incredible.
It's a murderer's row or whatever you call it,
Yes. Like it's 6 dudes at once trying to get this kid
Hook over.
Cred, Just like Wheeler has Claudio, Mox, all these people working to help him build credibility. And Danielson, letting Wheeler's turn be like the thing that did him in forever. So that's how AEW's created new stars. And so whatever criticism you have of AEW, if you're saying anything like, I don't even talk about it here very much, but it's like, if you're saying anything about their inability to tell stories, you're just either, one, you're stupid and you don't get it, or you're not watching the show.
Yeah.
Because they tell really, really good stories. In fact, some of the best I've ever seen.
Absolutely. Well, and you've said it in the past. I mean, not to get off on a tangent, but the idea that the characters themselves are the story, you know, and that when you see, and I won't belabor the point, but like, you know, a couple weeks back when Jon Moxley bumped into Don Callis. Yep. And it wasn't even so much what was said. It was just, oh my fucking God, you know Don Callis is going to be pissed. Oh, you know Mox is going to do this. You know, the same way you know with like your close friends how they're going to react to a certain situation. You know these characters.
Yes.
And then, yeah, don't tell me they don't tell stories. That's so silly. You can't. That is just that argument. You know what? If you think that they don't tell stories, did you know that wrestling's fake? I mean, it's that kind of an argument. It's just be quiet. You know,
just shut up. Sit down, shut the fuck up, and mark out, bitch. In the midst of Hook's promo, we just get this footage of two very deranged gentlemen.
I'm marking out.
Yeah, I mean, I'm getting chills talking about it. Swerve is shown walking with his big ass chain around his neck, and then from behind another pillar, Hangman appears with a big chain around his neck.
It's like the video for Beat It when like the one guy's walking and then the dude just kind of like they all just start appearing, you know?
Yeah. Are they gonna like dance fight? Is that coming next? But like, then they don't even look at each other or speak to each other.
And that was a cool touch.
That was a cool touch. Yes. They're just possessed by the same need for revenge on some level.
The need for revenge and leather pants and black jeans.
Absolutely. And just looking cool.
Yeah.
And Hangman's back in the black leather jacket. So, you know, he's always doing these little things to signify a shift, you know?
I like that.
He does not wear that brown, you know, cowboy coat that he was wearing as the champion.
Redford jacket or whatever.
He's fucking mad. They're finishing up their promo trying to pretend like they're unfazed by it all. But then Hangman and Swerve just start walking out through the crowd, but really fast, like on a mission. And all the ops dudes, the actual ops guys, get out of the ring. And Swerve and Hangman just demolish the scrubs that are in the ring.
Purpose, basically.
They just beat the shit out of them. And then they hang two of them.
Yeah.
They literally hang two of them over the top rope, and Hangman has the far off distant look in his eyes, and he's just screaming. Not even screaming words. Yeah. He's just screaming. Because he's fucking beyond furious, right? He knows he's been screwed. For me, this just added a whole bunch of gasoline to the story and a whole bunch more fire to the story. They could do another Hangman Joe match on a pay-per-view at this point, and I'm in.
I wouldn't complain if they did. They could do, they keep introducing all these chains. Maybe they'll do like a dog collar match or something to that effect, you know?
Yeah. No, I think the chains will have some kind of something to do with it.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm not going to argue with it. I mean, both of those matches were great, and I'm going to be at the next one. So
yes,
that's fine. Give me another one.
That's got to get you pretty fucking stoked, though. I know. You know that something big's going to happen at World's End when you're there.
I know. I'm so excited.
Yeah, fuck yeah, man.
I don't think I've ever seen Samoa Joe wrestle live.
Oh, that's awesome.
I'm not sure. I don't think I have, and he's one of my favorites. So, yeah.
I saw him wrestle Darby for the TNT title.
Oh, that's cool.
And Darby beat him for the TNT title, like at a Dynamite that I went to. It was really, really good. Leading into the next night on Collision, jumping over there real quick. Eddie Kingston.
Yeah.
Who is, I think, been kind of low key since he came back. You know, he's Hook's buddy.
I was afraid he was going to kind of get pushed into a different territory.
Yeah. You know, maybe like just helpful mentor kind of mid-Carter guy. Nope.
No.
I think those fears were allayed in one promo.
Yeah. One F-bomb laden promo.
This man has an ability to connect with an audience that is magical. It is Rhodes-like. It is Dusty Rhodes-like. He is very much the Dusty Rhodes of AEW in many ways. He's the common man, and he's so real. He's so fucking real.
I will add to that. I met him, and that extends into like how his meet and greets. You know what I mean?
Wow.
If it's an act, then he's a hell of a fucking actor. I mean, I sat there and shot the shit with him, and he gave me a ton of time. He gave a ton of time to my son, and like I just felt like I was talking to a dude, like just a guy that I met. I mean, like he actually, he just took so much time with us. And it just didn't feel forced. It didn't feel, it was so natural. Nothing but praise for Eddie Kingston, man. He's that. I'd like to think he's the nice guy in real life too. I mean, that's what it felt like. So,
well, and most certainly a very real guy in real life, no matter what.
There's just no bullshit,
There's no bullshit to his character or to the man.
He might possibly think that wrestling is real.
Yeah, I mean, he might think wrestling's real, and he makes you think wrestling is real for a minute.
Absolutely.
He makes you believe. So he has this match with Katsuyori Shibata. Good match. Eddie actually wins it with a basic-ass DDT. He just DDTs him and pins him. And I have to add, my man Shibata is doing the heel stuff really well.
Yeah,
he got that crowd booing him.
I'm not super familiar with Shibata other than just reputation. Everything I've seen from him has been in AEW, and I have no complaints.
Give yourself the gift of New Japan.
I know.
Dickhead, massive world-eating fucking psychopath.
I thought you were calling me a dickhead. I was going to say, we've been too nice to each other this fucking podcast.
Hey, we're just talking grabs. We don't like each other, but we're still talking grabs here.
I didn't know. I just always assumed that he was like, respectful babyface guy. I have no clue who Shibata is, to be honest.
Boy.
So, I guess I got to go. Maybe I'll get a subscription to New Japan World or whatever it is.
It would be worth it for like 1 month. And you go and you watch him versus Minoru Suzuki, him versus Ishii, him versus Tanahashi, and then his match where he actually gets that injury versus Okada. It's one of my favorite all-time matches.
Really? Do I want to watch it? Is it?
There, when he injures himself.
Oh,
and
shit.
You hear it. Like, it's a headbutt. And he makes way too much contact on the headbutt. It's not intentional.
Right.
And it makes a terrible noise.
Oh, God.
And then this little rivulet of blood starts dripping down his face.
Oh,
and
man.
if he hadn't gotten a massive brain trauma from this, it would have been one of the most iconic moments in the history of wrestling.
Sure.
But because of the results, like it was so, he gets through the entire match. He crawls to the back.
Really?
And then he actually collapses, has to have brain surgery.
Yeah.
Immediately after the match. But he is doing a great job of being a more conventional, like in New Japan, he's just a dick, but he's not really a heel. He's just an asshole. He's kind of an anti-hero almost. In AEW right now, he's being a dick. He's being an obvious heel. He's trying to get the boost, but he's doing a good job.
He is,
I was actually really impressed with his crowd work. He's like trying to get people to boo him. So anyway, he loses to Eddie with just a normal ass DDT. They'll look great, by the way. And Eddie waits around and then gets a mic. And I love that he's like, they told me to come out here and shoot, so that's what we're going to fucking do, or whatever it is he said. And then somebody from the crowd goes, I love you, Eddie. And he goes, I used to think that I didn't deserve that love, that I wasn't worthy of that love. So when you say I love you to me, I say, fuck that. I'm pro wrestling and I love you because you love pro wrestling. I had goosebumps already at this point. This man's like a minute and a half in, to like what turns out to be a 3-minute promo, maybe 4 minutes. And he's like, I'm not a fucking character. I'm not trying to get a character over. I'm not like, no. Like, he's like, you know, so I'm not doing this to get a chant going. I'm not doing this for Twitter. And then off mic, I think he said, by the way, fuck Twitter. The crowd's just eating out of his hands at this point. And then he turns it to Samoa Joe. He's like, I'm not going to talk about Hook. Hook made his decision. Now he's got to deal with Swerve and Hangman. And before, you know, but Joe, you are a man I used to respect. You had one of the greatest world title reigns in North America ever in Ring of Honor. And before you lead Hook down the wrong path, how about this? Winter is coming December 10th. How about you not be a pussy and you put that title on the line and fight?
Yeah. Yeah.
That's how you do it, folks. I know. That's how you do it. Mm-hmm. Like that is
how you
fucking
talk
master
people
class.
into a building. You know?
When people think of CM Punk, I think what they think of, the people who have a positive association with him is like what Eddie does.
Mm-hmm.
And CM Punk's nothing like that. Like, no. Not even close. Like, when Eddie and Punk did that promo together,
yeah,
Eddie punked Phil so fucking hard in that promo. Like,
he's the real fucking deal.
He looked so real, and Punk looked so like he looked like the 60-year-old guy with the Sub Pop jacket on,
right?
You know, like with the like $300 Sub Pop Records jacket on.
Well, you know, if I can reference something earlier from the conversation, I actually met CM Punk once too. I bumped into him at a comic book convention before he made his AEW comeback.
Wow!
And he was at the Pro Wrestling Tees table, and so this is before he comes back. And I was like, oh shit! You know, like I knew that he didn't really like people very much. He doesn't really care for other humans to recognize him and say nice things to him about the things he's done in his past, whatever. And I'm being kind of stupid here. I do think celebrities should have their own. I mean, I don't think we should. We don't own them, so I'm being silly here. But I just said, hey man, you know, like you've entertained me a bit. Thank you. And he did not seem as comfortable as Eddie Kingston did. I'll just say that. I won't get into a CM Punk pissing contest, but he wasn't that guy, you know, and he wasn't rude by any stretch of the imagination, but he wasn't what Eddie was, you know?
Right. He wasn't natural.
He wasn't natural. He was clearly uncomfortable around me.
Yeah. And it's like he is at a comic book show at somebody's table. Like
at the table for Pro Wrestling Tees.
Right. People are going to recognize you, bro.
Yeah. Like, I mean, you clearly want to be recognized.
You're there to be recognized. That's why you're there. You know?
Kind of. But like again, he wasn't rude. He just wasn't. Maybe he's just not a comfortable guy. You know what? Whatever. We can do another podcast where we shit on CM Punk, and I will. Oh,
well, I could do an entire hour on just that.
Absolutely. But
Phil's one of those guys. I don't feel like I need to know him personally because his actions have really clearly demonstrated who he actually is to me.
Punk's a weird dude where I listened to like a fucking 12-hour podcast where he ran down Vince McMahon and the WWE, and I agreed with every single word he said, turned the podcast off and said, God, I hope I never meet that guy because I don't like him at all. Even sitting there agreeing with him, even nodding my head and saying, yes, you deserved better, this, blah, blah, blah. Man, you're a fucking whiny asshole. But anyway.
Yeah. Well, thank God he's gone from AEW because it's so much better without him. And we have Eddie Kingston, so we're just fine.
And Jon Moxley, who is also another one of those CM Punk wishes he was that guy. But that's another podcast.
Yes. And no wonder Eddie Kingston and Jon Moxley are like super homies, you know?
And don't seem to like that gentleman very much.
Yeah. So we're going to hit the music. When we come back, before we get into the incredible shit, we got to talk about something that's kind of...
Yeah.
Well, we'll talk about it when we come back.
If you want to look sexy as fuck, go to sickosclub.com/merch and get you some.
And we're back.
Yeah, we are. Degree, look, I don't like you, but there's some I like even less than you. And I didn't think that was possible.
Yourself. I think we've already established that.
Look, we're not...
Three
my therapist
pointing
we
backwards.
Already do. No. And I don't want to know where the fifth finger is, okay? Like, don't want to know.
Maybe you're like a Ninja Turtle and you only have 2 fingers and a thumb.
Anyway.
Because your thumb's not a...
All right.
They wouldn't call it a thumb if it was a finger. Go on.
Just get help.
Trying.
Yeah,
That's
not
what this
hard
podcast
enough.
is for.
Jesus Christ. There is one thing I like even less than you, and that is Tony Khan's very baffling use of titles in AEW. I thought we had an understanding. I thought maybe corrective action had been taken this year at All In to rectify something that really doesn't make a lot of sense. I apparently was mistaken.
A lot of us were.
The Continental title being a title doesn't really make a lot of sense. Like, if it's a ceremonial title, that makes sense.
Like the
you can carry it around. You know, you win the tournament, you carry it around.
Like the Owen Hart belt.
Yeah. You don't defend the belt, though, because you had to win a big-ass tournament to win that belt. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So why should somebody beat you one time and then win the belt for themselves? That's stupid. That doesn't make any sense to me. Like, the person who wins the tournament is the one who really won it anyway.
Right. Know? But, I mean, there's the idea that you win the belt. Okay. This is my armchair booking, whatever.
Sure.
You win the belt, and then that, like, gets you entry into the tournament. Like, if you're still the champ, then that gives you an automatic entry. Maybe, like...
Right.
It could have been an automatic, like a buy on somehow, I don't know, something. A point, maybe even, like a point advantage.
I would be like, if you could trade it in for like a world title shot,
right?
That would be a great point of the belt, in my opinion.
But I like the idea that the tournament is the prize in and of itself. But go on.
That's fine. Like King of the Ring used to be that. I mean, also you got a really cool crown and you got to walk around calling yourself a king for no reason for like 3 months. And then they made it a shot at SummerSlam. You got a world title shot at SummerSlam if you won the King of the Ring. That made more sense to me, right? Sure. That's something you'd actually want to fight over. They did the same thing with the Royal Rumble back in the day. It used to be like, hey, I just won the Royal Rumble. I'm cool.
Which I like.
Which is fine.
Yeah.
Which is neat.
It's your resume.
Then it became a world title shot at WrestleMania. Right. That's a big deal, right? I'm just baffled that Tony saw fit to have Kenny Omega and Kazuchika Okada wrestle each other on the biggest stage possible that AEW can give to unify, by their own words, unify the international title held by Omega and the continental title held by Okada. To me, that was admitting we have too many belts. We're going to find a way to merge these two and create something new. Unified belt. Didn't love the name, but it has Kenny Omega doing the one-winged angel on one side. It has Kazuchika Okada doing the Rainmaker on the other side. Kazuchika Okada wins that match and becomes the unified champion. Then they're carrying the 3 belts around with them, but I didn't really pay a lot of attention to that, right? Because at no point...
a good visual. I mean,
it was.
Seeing Don with both belts and then Okada with the third one, that is a great... Just pisses you off, And
it pisses you off. Also, when Don wears one of the belts, that's really, really good. Like, Don is a master.
Yeah.
We can go off about Don, and we should, but we're not going to.
Right.
Don, we love you. When the Continental Classic came around, I'm like, they're going to have to think of either you're winning it for the sake of winning it, or it's for a title shot, but it'll have to be for something new, right?
No, you're just ununifying the belt.
I was wrong.
Yeah.
It is for the Continental title. Now, how many times has the international title been defended since All In?
Maybe, has it? No, it hasn't been defended at all?
0 amount of times.
Oh. I thought
the unified belt has been defended.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yes, I'm sorry. I thought that's what you meant.
The unified title has been defended once or twice.
Correct.
In 100 and some odd days.
Right.
Okay.
which
barely at all.
technically means all three are being, because the first thing they did when they unified the belts was say, hey, we're keeping all the lineages intact.
And that should have told me right there that eventually these belts are going to be ununified.
Yeah.
So apparently what takes place is the winner of the C2, which is one of my favorite things that AEW does.
It's one of my favorite things in wrestling ever. I love it so much.
Yes, me too.
This is only the third year.
Right. And I look forward to it. You know, we were talking on the Full Gear wrap up that they've really leaned hard into the gore and the hardcore stuff recently, and we wanted to see some just straight up wrestling.
Scraps. Yeah.
And when they announced the brackets, which we'll talk about, I was so excited because it's a fucking murderer's row of people.
2 of them.
Insane. The matchup that we're going to see are crazy. And then they announce that the first match of the entire thing will be Kazuchika Okada versus Kyle Fletcher. Like, insane.
Yeah.
And it was a great match, and we'll get into that. But the Continental title is on this little fucking...
And then they show Okada backstage on Collision, and he's only holding the International. Right.
So the titles are no longer unified, okay? Because if Okada doesn't win the tournament again, he's no longer the Continental Champion.
Correct.
Whoever wins the tournament becomes a Continental Champion, which would ununify the titles.
Correct.
Then the unified title would go away, theoretically.
Right. And initially, my thought process was that the unified title was not the 2 other titles merged to form a brand new thing. It is a brand new thing that exists independently of the other 2. The 2 titles met. Maybe they fell in love. You know, maybe they got to know each other. Maybe they didn't. Maybe it was just a one-night thing. But either way, the union created a third thing. And so I thought, well, shit, okay, he can lose the Continental belt and he's going to keep the unified belt. That is also not the case.
Right. And Excalibur explained that, right? Like,
kind of.
I was fucking baffled. Okay. Yeah. Like, Tony has done this with titles since the beginning, is like the lineal champion and the interim champion. And then they fight to unify those titles when the champion comes back. And people absolutely hated the interim championship.
Yeah, I don't think anybody really dug that.
Nobody really liked it.
I don't know anyone personally, and I never saw a single person say they liked it.
It's what they do in MMA, and it's what they do in boxing. And
I get it.
Those are legit sports. Like in wrestling, you don't have to do that.
You don't have to, yeah.
You know? So it just, when I really started thinking about this, I was like, wait a minute. So at some point, Okada's going to lose, right? And he's going to lose one of these titles, is going to ununify the titles. They just put a replica of the unified title in the AEW shop like this week. And they're saying, if you buy the unified title, you can buy the TNT or the TBS title half off. And I think that's because the unified title isn't going to be on TV. Because it's going to be ununified.
So the unified, I'm just fucking throwing ideas out here. The unified title has 2 side plates. One side plate has Kenny Omega. The other side plate has Kazuchika Okada. Maybe the unified title comes back and now it's the TNT belt and the Continental belt, or now it's the TNT belt and the International. This is a terrible idea. But maybe that's where they're going. I don't know. It's confusing. And I'm not like a big, it's like we were saying earlier, when you're kind of an older fan, I'm not really worried about who the champ is and who this and that. I just want a good show. I want a good story. So I'm not like a big stickler on belt stuff, but it really is confusing and weird. Like there's a lot of things that when they had a belt called the All Atlantic Belt and it featured the flag of a nation that was in the Pacific Ocean, I just let it slide. Yeah. I really didn't care because All Atlantic kind of sounds like Mid-Atlantic, and so I got it. There's a lot of shit that it just doesn't bother me, but it's like, on one hand, I feel like man, Tony Khan just loves titles. He just wants to make new titles. He's throwing out all these new belts and they don't really make sense. Then on the other side of that coin, it's kind of like, okay, but right from the moment you unified them, you already told us that all 3 lineages would remain intact. So I know this was your plan from day one. It's odd. I don't know what the plan is.
It's an odd plan.
Yeah.
Is what it is.
A friend of ours had mentioned that he just thought that Tony is building history. He wants to build a larger universe. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But look, if we can compare it to cinema, Marvel introduced one character, then a second, then a third, then a fourth, and then they combined them all, and it was a hugely successful venture. DC did the Justice League movie like right out of the fucking gate. And I mean, obviously they were successful, but like those movies aren't the same. You know what I mean?
Right. They didn't hit the same.
So like, it's weird because Tony is so patient in so many ways. He always resists the temptation to hotshot stuff. He resists the temptation to push a guy before it's his time. But like the belt thing is weird. He's just like all over. It's like I just can't wait to make a new belt.
Yeah. Know? Well, and you know, like in the original plan at the first C2 that Eddie Kingston won, it was Eddie was already the New Japan Strong Champion and he was the ROH champion.
So they made their own little Triple Crown.
And they were making their own Triple Crown that fell apart exactly 2 months after Eddie
which
did
was
that.
Bizarre because that felt like a really cool idea.
It felt like a really cool idea. And then this felt like, hey, they're kind of doing that again with the unified title, except AEW controls all the belts. And so they don't have to like, New Japan can't just go like, hey, give us that belt back.
Right.
You know, like, so that made sense to me. This doesn't make a lot of sense to me.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna, through gritted teeth, really try to give Tony Khan the benefit of the doubt on this one. But he just has his own understanding of what these belts mean. But I'm telling you, Tony, the broader us, we don't understand what you mean.
Yeah.
Like, we're all very confused. And for me, what I liked about WCW a lot was they had a path that you followed.
Right.
To climb the lineage, to climb the promotion. You won the TV title first. If you were on the come up, you know, you were fighting for the TV title. Maybe you didn't even win the TV title. But
right. Or if you were a guy that was never going to get any higher than the TV title, you could hold that too. You know what I mean? Or
right.
Maybe you're on the way down from the US or something.
And you would be like a reliable person to like put the belt on.
Arn Anderson.
To put the TV title on if that was going to be your ceiling. Right. Yeah. And then if you were going to keep climbing, like look at Sting. He won the TV title first. Then he climbed. He won the U.S. title, you know. Then he climbed from the U.S. title and won the world title.
Right.
AEW doesn't have a path like that. They have, my understanding was always that the TNT title was the TV title.
Right.
So if you're a young guy.
For the most part.
I mean, that's the only thing that makes any sense, right? Like, it's literally named after the network they're on.
Well, yeah.
You know?
But I mean, even like where it stands in the hierarchy, I think that's actually fairly well defined. But
here's where this becomes problematic. So you can make the TNT title better if you just said TNT title matches are 15 minutes long, and if it goes to a draw, it's like the champion won.
And it's only defended on TNT, but that's just
It's only defended on TNT, and the TBS title is only defended on TBS, and both are defended every week.
Yeah, I love that.
It's an open challenge belt.
I love that too.
So you don't need to have like people in contention. You don't even need to do that. Like, give the belt an identity. And they just don't do that. And it's, to me, with those particular titles, it's so obvious. So from the TNT title, what would your natural inclination be? What's the next title on the hierarchy?
Well, I mean, depending on how many belts we have, previously it would have been international.
Right.
And then you would go up
That's
to
like the Intercontinental title, right?
Yeah. But it's weird because the TNT title is the TV title in the men's division, but the TBS title is like the Intercontinental belt in the women's division.
Right.
But anyway.
And so if you're going to introduce more titles, probably the women's division is where you should be doing it in the first place.
Yeah.
But if they ununify these titles, then you've got the Continental title, which is like, what's the point of even winning that outside of the tournament? And then you've got the International title, and then you just introduced the National title.
Right.
So is the International title bigger than the National title? And if so, where does the National title fall in relation to the Continental title?
I would think, so based solely on the names, the continent is larger than the nation, so therefore Continental would be higher than National, but the Continental belt is more like a King of the Ring prize. And it feels like the International belt should have been the belt that gets defended in all around the country, or excuse me, all around the world and in different promotions. But it kind of seems like the National belt is going to be like that. That kind of doesn't make sense either. But I'm wondering if they're going to recreate the unified belt. Maybe I was right earlier, and maybe they're going to separate them so that they can redo the Triple Crown in the proper way that they really want to do it. And this is all just building lore, you know?
I hope.
Maybe not. I don't know.
I hope that somebody clips this entire conversation and sends it to Tony Khan. Because if this conversation makes sense to you, Tony, if this conversation makes sense to anyone who's been listening to us have it, then you are a far smarter person than me, because this is convoluted as fuck.
But I will also throw out that there's because initially, okay, we talked about this too, the unified belt, and I don't know if this was legit or if this is just rumor, but it seemed to be that was going to kind of be your runner-up world title, or your on par with the world title. And maybe it is, maybe it's not. I don't know. I will say there's an everything like I'm twice. Saying on all the criticisms, there's an asterisk, and the asterisk is always, it's fucking wrestling. You know what I mean? And so I do think there's something to be said for, like, sometimes the debate is the point. You know, sometimes the discussion is really what you're there for. And so maybe it's not a matter of, the debate isn't a matter of who's right and who's wrong, what's more important and what's less important. Maybe that's just the fun of it, is just the debate of just, well, hey man, he's got that belt. That's got to be, no, fuck that. The nation's smaller than the continent, and what, you know, maybe the debate is the point. Maybe that's what we're here for, you know, and maybe it just doesn't matter. But you know, some of us care, because some of us are like that. Because some of us organize all of our candy bars after Halloween and like put them into little categories, and Snickers is at the top, and then Milky Way and what is it? Three Musketeers kind of spread.
Yeah, the
up,
shitty ones.
Milky Way and Three Musketeers unified is a Snickers, right? So
that's exactly right.
Right. And so then M&Ms come off of that, and then Skittles comes off of M&Ms because they're both like pellets. And then Skittles
they're both
branches
pellets
off into Mambas and Starburst and et cetera, whereas M&Ms branches off into peanut M&Ms and Reese's Pieces, and then other pellet form candies. And
so Tony, what you need to understand is that wrestling fans, every one of us,
with me.
we are on some measure of the spectrum, and you need to respect that.
Yes.
I hyperfixate on title continuity, okay? That's where I go. So this
Tony,
is not
I thought
okay.
You were on the spectrum too, man.
Yeah, what the fuck, man? What the fuck? And this is in no way meant to be disrespectful to anyone actually on the spectrum.
Jesus Christ, no.
I'm just saying, I hyperfixate on the titles. They mean a lot to me.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe this is his out to make the international title the partner program belt that's going to be defended all over the world.
Yeah.
Maybe it is. Real dumb way of getting there. I just got to say, if that's what happens. But as I have said, I don't know the thoughts of Tony Khan. Clearly do not know. I am wrong about a lot of things.
Yeah, and the past has proven that this guy typically does have a plan.
Yes. And so I'm going to try and trust that he has a plan. However, prior behavior is an indicator of future behavior. And Tony Khan has been a goddamn confusing title guy.
And I will also say, at the end of the day, I really ultimately I don't really give a shit. It's not my hill to die on. I love, I mean, like, I'll let it go. I don't care. I really like belts. I
love belts.
I'm a fucking, yes. There's a one thing we agree on is that we are huge belt marks. I do feel like wrestling is moving in a direction where everybody just does have a belt, and it's just kind of a thing. Like, people know that wrestlers have muscles. People know that wrestlers go and scream a lot, and people know that wrestlers have belts. So maybe just wrestlers are just going to all have belts now. I don't know.
I could go in 30 more directions with this, but I think it's good for us to cap it here.
Talk about this all night.
Because we have one final thing to talk about before we say goodbye.
The main event.
It's the best thing. The main event. The Continental Classic was announced earlier this week.
It's my favorite thing.
I as I referred to earlier, we were talking with Brett at the review of Full Gear, and Brett said her concern was just that, they have leaned really hard into hardcore and into, no DQ and stuff like that. She wanted to just see some wrestling. And you know what? I completely agree.
And that's what the C2 is.
And that's what the C2
in the
is.
Fucking rules.
And so they announced the brackets for this tournament. And I am like shitting a brick. Like, this is insane. So the Gold League is Kevin Knight.
Dude, and every single time, did you watch the little thing that Tony showed on?
Oh, yeah.
Every single time they announced the name, I would just get more and more excited. You
yeah.
know?
Oh, me too. I felt like a little kid watching this. So Kevin Knight, Kyle Fletcher, Pac, Darby Allin, Kazuchika Okada, and Speedball Mike Bailey are the Gold League.
Mm-hmm.
And in the Blue League,
every single name, I'm just like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God.
Yeah, this is wild. You have Claudio Castagnoli, John Moxley, Konosuke Takeshita, Mascara Dorada, Orange Cassidy, and Roderick Strong.
Yeah.
That is insane.
Yeah.
That is unhinged behavior.
One of my buddies looked at it and he's like, oh, like just off the top of his head, the Gold League is the wrestling league and the Blue League is the story league. And then he paused for a minute and he's like, no, the Blue League is the wrestling league too.
Yeah, they're all wrestling leagues.
It's all good.
I mean, this is incredible. It lends itself to so many different storytelling possibilities, even in individual matches, which is one huge thing I love about the C2 is just like the G1. There's all these matchups. Even with a week to process, you can't really think of them all.
No. And that's a million storylines waiting to happen. And even the little things where, like, when they mentioned that Fletcher beat Okada last year in the C2. This is where I am not a sports guy at all, but I love the trappings, I guess, like the concepts. And this is where I get to be a sports guy. This is where that aspect, that tournament aspect and all that comes into play. And there's lore.
Yeah, there's a lot of lore. And I think it's why I harp so much on the Continental title is like, I want the winner to get something that feels like you're going to put yourself through this for something truly epic and grand.
I am a fan. I don't think you need a world title shot. I'm a fan of the prize being the prize, but like, whatever, that's, neither here
Fair
nor
enough. There. You win that belt, but just like, why are you defending it? Like, that doesn't make any sense.
The only thing I don't like about a tournament resulting in a world title shot is that it it pigeonholes you kind of, and like you have
it does for sure.
That, like, say with the Royal Rumble or the Owen or whatever, it's like now that has to happen and you can never deviate. I don't like Money in the Bank either, but that's for kind of more different reasons. But
yeah,
that's another podcast. I do have a fear. Did you have anything else you wanted to say, or can I?
No, you jump right in.
I have one fear, and it might not be a fear. It might be a good thing. Shivani made a point of saying, you can't. There's nobody. Everybody's barred from ringside, and so far nobody's ever broken that rule. So I like that rule, and I really like that rule has never been broken. And so there's a part of me that's fearful where I'm like, don't do it. Don't because once you break the seal, then it's going to happen all the time. But the flip side of that is the Death Riders are a team who rely so much on run-ins. They are the run-in masters. And so now I'm looking at it like, okay, there's a story. And yes, somebody is probably going to run in, or somebody's going to want to run in, or whatever.
Or somebody's going to ask someone to run in.
Yeah. And they're going to say,
and they're basically going to say, hey, like, I need to win. And I don't care, Wheeler.
You need to help me.
You need to help me. That would be the most compelling thing, I think.
Well,
is like Moxley
getting banned. Yes. My brain is imagining Moxley gets banned, and then he's like, fucking, remember when Randy Savage had to retire? And there was just this outcry of, oh, we want Randy Savage back. We want him back. We want him. But he's this rogue agent, you know, and he just comes in and he fucks with the Death Riders. Anyway, you can tune in my armchair booking podcast another time.
No, I think you're right, though.
Wins every title. Anyway, it's like at first I'm nervous because I don't want. One of my favorite things about the C2, and I know that's kind of a stupid thing to be favorite about, but I love that there's no interference, so I don't want that to become a regular thing. But then on the other hand, it's like, man, there's a lot of doorways for that to be cool. So.
Right. There is some doorways for it to be cool. I think it's more like if it doesn't happen, but is threatened. That's interesting to me because they're saying like, hey, look, if you interfere and even help somebody win behind the ref's back,
you're banned.
We still saw you interfere. You're still out of here.
Yeah.
So, you know, because I remember Tony specifically at the All In scrum saying to Don Callis when Okada was up there, he said, Don, you know, the Continental Champion is the one who unified these titles, so that it will be defended under the unified titles, defended under Continental rules. So if you pulled what you pulled tonight, you would be fired.
Right.
And I like the idea of maybe Moxley getting desperate and trying to like,
me too,
you know, get Wheeler or Garcia to interfere for him.
And it's a thing where, and this is something AEW does really well. You know, if there's a rule in wrestling, it's going to get broken. I mean, that's just, it's a given. And I love the fact that he has held off 2 years on breaking that one. But yeah, I mean, fuck it, dude. If you're going to do it, these are the guys to do it with. So that's cool.
Absolutely.
You know?
Well, as we dig into what we've seen so far, they announced the day before that Kyle Fletcher and Kazuchika Okada would be leading us off. This was a fucking fantastic match.
Yes, it was. Yes, it
Kyle
was.
Kyle Fletcher had beaten Kazuchika Okada last year with a dick kick. And he's one of like 3 people, I think, who's pinned Okada.
Yeah.
And going into this match, it was like, can he do it again?
Right.
And he did.
He didn't cheat, did he? He didn't dick kick him.
He didn't cheat.
Time.
He did it clean.
Yeah.
Because
Okada was
spun him
what?
up. Yeah. No, it was crazy. And they did the time call too. So you're like wondering if they're going to go to a draw.
Right. If you're going to do a draw, this is the time.
Fletcher sneaks in a tricky pin. Okada teases flipping him off at the end of the match, but he doesn't. He shakes his hand. And for the moment, there is some wellness in the Callis family. But really, really great match.
How cool is it that, you know, typically in wrestling, you have a couple of good guys and their you know, tension gets high and one of them is, you know, has to turn on the other one. Or you have a group of bad guys and one of them is severely mistreated, you know, and this is obviously what they're doing to Takeshita or whatever, but like, you just have a full team of villains and their stories are just as compelling as the heroes versus villains, you know, good guys versus 100%. Bad guys. Like, it's like you're finally getting, you know, the bad guys are as cool as the good guys. Like, they have just as much storyline and just as much potential as anybody does. And they're not just pushed over onto the bad guy shelf or whatever, you know? It's cool.
Yeah, no,
you're breaking norms. I love it.
It is breaking a lot of norms. The Callis family breaks a lot of norms. And Don Callis particularly is the one that kind of unifies them all under that. Because when Fletcher beats Okada, Callis isn't upset. He's like, wow, that was great. That was great. And, you know, so it's very interesting to see where all of that is going, I think it's fascinating.
Yeah, and I mean, when the entire crowd tells you how much they love you by saying, fuck you, Don.
Yes. Yep.
Fuck Don Callis. And those words mean I love you, you know?
Yes. He's the greatest heel manager in the business right now, I think.
He really is.
Yeah.
And he's making a case for for an all-time.
He's climbing the all-time list.
Getting into my Hall of Fame. I'll give him that.
He is. Absolutely. We also had a match, Jon Moxley versus Mascara Dorada. What I find very compelling about this is every Jon Moxley match is kind of must-see because he could lose any of them. Like
now, yeah.
Where he's at, he could lose any of these matches.
Yep. A year ago, it would have been like, oh, Mox is no problem, you know?
And he just barely wins this one.
Yeah.
Like, barely wins this one. It's a really good match. Watching him work with a luchador is a lot of fun.
Yes, it was.
It's not like watching him work with Rey Fenix, one, because he didn't get a concussion in this match, but also because Rey was very accustomed to working with people in the States. You know, Mascara Dorada is a CMLL guy, straight up. And so that's a little different. But they had great chemistry. You know, Mox catches
styles too. I mean, you could not get farther apart, but man, they worked well together.
They worked great together, and Mox just catches him with a choke, a desperation choke that I've never even seen him use before. When he misses, like, I think it was a 450 he tried to do, and chokes him out just by the skin of his teeth, gets through it. But, you know, then Mox is acting like he's such a badass, but he, like, dude, you almost lost that match.
Little peacock strut.
Yeah, he's doing a little peacock shit. He actually won a match. He's excited.
Yeah.
We got Kevin Knight versus Darby Allin.
Yes. Holy shit.
This is what the C2 is for.
Yes.
Okay. Kevin Knight can lose every other match he has in the rest of this tournament, and people will remember this match more than any of the rest of that.
So you and Antoine were talking about it. Kevin Knight being like that kind of dark horse signing where, you know, nobody quite knew. I knew his name, and that's all I knew about the guy. And when Kevin Knight finally figures out exactly what his kind of personality character, like when that starts to evolve more, dude, that guy is like, he's got star written all over him. You know,
future world champion.
So fucking good. And then Darby wrestling. I love it.
Yeah, I love it.
Like,
love it.
Darby pulling out his inner Dean Malenko that you forget exists. And I know we mentioned it last week, but like the match he had with Ospreay a while back, a year ago, whatever it was. And you forget Darby can do that. And then, God, that match was really super good. And I had no idea who was winning. I mean, I assumed Darby because he's Darby, but like, he did not.
Well, and those guys have a long history because Kevin Knight learned how to wrestle in Seattle. Okay. He initially trained with Buddy Wayne at the Buddy Wayne Academy and Nick Wayne's dad. And
oh, God.
And so
this is just opening up doorways. I love it.
It's crazy. And then he went and trained in Japan. He went and trained elsewhere. He wrestled with Kushida. I saw him wrestle at a Defy show, tag teaming with Kushida, and he blew me away. I was like, he did a drop kick, and I was like, what the fuck? Like, how did he get that high off the mat? Like,
yeah, that guy's special. And when I say he needs to work on, he doesn't need to work on anything, but you know, that little intangible thing. I mean, he's already a likable dude, but it's like once that...
Give him a consistent push.
Once that clicks, I mean, he's just killer.
Let the fans get to know his personality a little better. When you listen to him talk on a podcast or something, he's funny. He's funny. He's very engaging. He's got kind of an offbeat sense of humor, and I love it. But I heard him tell a story about how him and Aubrey Edwards used to be neighbors. Like they lived like on the same block. And Aubrey reffed his first match.
Really?
So, like, because it was in Defy. Yeah. Like, they all came up through Defy. So, like, it's very cool. It's very cool. And as somebody from this area, like, that's really cool to me, too, you know? So.
Oh, yeah, because you're always rooting for your hometown heroes.
Of course.
You know?
Of course. And we actually have a scene out here now, you know, for the first time in my lifetime.
That's really cool.
Yeah, and so Kevin Knight kind of dominates Darby in this match. It's very understandable why, because Darby was
I love
just
that.
savagely fucked up by Pac.
Yeah,
in
And
in their match at the
plays
pay-per-view.
in, you know?
And Kevin Knight hits a coast-to-coast on Darby Allin. That is the most impressive one I've ever seen, by far.
That was really cool.
You know, I thought RVD had a great coast-to-coast. I saw Shane McMahon do it, you know, a number of times.
Mm-hmm.
And he almost hit it a couple times. And,
it's enough to be impressive, right?
It was enough. It was impressive, you know. But Kevin's was kind of different. Yeah. And Darby even, like, leaned into it to make it look more impressive. And then he hits that UFO splash.
Which is cool.
And get the most insane height you could possibly get. It's the most insane-looking frog splash I've ever seen.
Yeah, dude.
And he pins him.
See that guy live. I want to see him.
Absolutely.
I want to see what that looks like in real life because it looks fucking insane on television, you know?
But, you know, we had all these people, you know, who were pending free agents this year, and nobody was talking about Kevin Knight.
No.
And I think he's the best under-the-radar signing of the year, by far.
Yep.
And they closed the show with Orange Cassidy versus Claudio Castagnoli. This is a low-key rivalry in AEW that has actually been going on the indies for about 15 years or so.
Right, couple of Chikara guys, right?
They were in Chikara together. Cassidy was Fire Ant, and their factions feuded a lot.
I saw them years and years ago, and obviously didn't know who they were at the time, you know?
Yeah.
That's cool.
They have an extended history, and in AEW, I don't believe Orange Cassidy's ever actually defeated Claudio.
I don't know.
But they have a kind of a very low-key rivalry, and they never have a bad match. They know each other so well. It's so much fun to watch them wrestle. They have another great fucking main event, and Claudio wins again. But Orange looks great in defeat, as he always does.
Yeah, that was another one I didn't know how to call when it was happening. You know, I wasn't
And Claudio
sure.
looks like a killer. Like, he just looks
Claudio
like a fucking
is killer. But he's another guy where he's he's not a world title guy, he's not a main title, but he's just, you can always kind of just plug him in, and it's always convincing when he beats somebody. It's never a shock or a stretch to, he's credible. He's very credible.
Well, you know what I think's interesting about Claudio that I respect so much is he doesn't do the same shit he did when he was Cesaro. Really? He doesn't do, like, the superplex from, like, the guy's on the bottom rope on the outside and he suplexes him back in the ring. Because that's a move that you're going to have a harder time doing as you age, right?
Sure.
Like, it was a thing he could do easily at that age, but he probably couldn't do it so easily now. He always mixes things up to make it work for where he's at physically, so he always is doing really impressive shit.
Yeah.
And
super strong, dude. He's like
crazy strong. Like, fucking, this dude fucking body slammed Paul White over the top rope at a WrestleMania. It's wild.
It's deceptive. I mean, obviously he's
insane.
Big, but it's like, wow, really? Wow, holy shit.
Him and Bandito, pound for pound, are just two of the strongest motherfuckers I've ever seen. So the next night on Collision, we lead off with a match that's a dream match. Like, I've never seen this match. It's Pac versus Speedball Mike Bailey.
Yeah, and it delivered.
The chemistry between these,
as a matter of fact.
Yeah, the chemistry between these two is insane.
Mm-hmm.
Pac played it perfectly because he's actually bigger.
Yeah,
which is unusual for him. But he's so fucking bulky and shit. I had Pac win in this one. It wasn't a surprise to me that he won, but the way they did it made Speedball look great in defeat, where he just kind of passed out in the. He didn't submit. He passed out in the what's that move called? It's not the Dominator. It's the
it's like the Brutalizer.
The Brutalizer. Yeah. It's a great move.
Great name.
I love Pac. I've always been a huge fan of Pac. If you just watch the guy wrestle and you don't worry about him getting injured, which I always do,
or like having visa issues or whatever it always is,
he could be such a huge star if he could just stay healthy. Like
his whole AEW career feels like you're just waiting. He's always on the shelf, and it's like, well, wait till Pac comes back, you know. And then it's like, oh well, this, that, and the other. Yeah, he's injured a lot.
And I worry sometimes that it's because he's too big for his frame, muscular wise. And now he's even bigger. So I do worry about that a little bit. I worry about it with Swerve too. You know, he's gotten so jacked that
big.
I'm like,
yeah,
dude, I hope he has the mobility. You know, I
Right.
hope like he's been working on stretch and
Right.
flexibility. I'm sure he has, but I worry.
but don't lose that old Swerve. Yeah, and same
Don't
thing with
lose
Pac.
old Swerve.
We've all seen Scott Steiner, and we know where this goes. You know?
Exactly. It's a rational concern.
Yeah. But it looks like Pac is getting, probably maybe going to be the leader of the Death Riders. I mean,
It looks like Tony
he's got
has
that
some
little P
intention.
logo, and like
That was
he
cool.
used to have a logo.
Well, and if you notice, John Moxley isn't coming out with a lot of the Death Riders anymore.
No, and
He's
that
coming
one-
out. He comes out with Daniel Garcia, and that's about it.
Yeah, and that promo he cut where he was back in like the boiler room or whatever.
Yeah.
I mean, they were almost rolling their eyes at him. Nobody
Except
looked like they had confidence in Mox, you know?
Except for Danny.
Right. So
When the crowd was chanting, "You tapped out" to Mox right after that Fletcher match, Danny was like, no. You know, like, he's still the man.
Yeah.
Everybody else looked like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Like, so I noticed that
Marina looked like somebody farted, dude. She's just like, what?
Marina looked like she was gonna cry. Like
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to kill you.
Yeah.
Like, this is so sad.
It's like
I
old
believed
Yeller.
in you. Yep. And then the show ends with a great match between Konosuke Takeshita and Roderick Strong.
Right. I haven't watched that one yet, but I do know the outcome. So
Yes.
We can talk about it.
You know, very predictable outcome in
Yep.
this one. Konosuke Takeshita is the IWGP World Champion.
yeah, he's not losing.
He's going to have a dominant run through this thing. I'm very interested that there's only been 2 Blue League matches in this entire thing so far. So I'll be interested to see what the scheduling looks like. Maybe maybe some of the Gold League people need to like do other things at some point during December. And so they're trying to get some of those matches out of the way first.
No, there's been 3 matches.
Has there been 3?
Yeah. Takeshita and
Oh,
Roddy.
Claudio versus OC. I
there's
didn't
3.
count that.
We're getting them kind of mixed up.
So there's 3 and 3. Okay.
I think
so
last year
it's been
it
even.
was kind of lopsided at times too. Like it kind of.
It was.
They've got
yeah.
a reason. I mean, there's a, you know.
Yeah, I think somebody was doing something
That's
during
a crazy
December
thing
last
too.
year.
Speaking of, because there's so much that's got to go into. I mean, I can't even imagine just being a booker, but then to book a tournament like this,
Yep.
like some Fletcher and Okada right out of the gate.
Right.
I saw some commentary where folks were kind of like, well, you know, I would have saved that. I would have built to that. And that makes sense, of course. There's a reason why they didn't save it. There's a reason why they didn't build it. And you're going to see that happen over the next few weeks. I can't fathom putting something like this together and how challenging
I
that
think
would be.
that it's very possible that Fletcher and Okada will meet again in the playoffs.
finals?
In the semifinals.
Okay.
Because they're in the same
Right,
league.
right.
So
I mean, everybody assumes it's Takeshita and Okada. I mean, that we've been assuming that since day one, months ago.
Yes. And I could see that. I still think that's probably the most likely outcome.
Yeah.
Yeah. But Tony Khan's been fucking with us all year long, man. I don't know where this is going.
Yeah, no. I mean, I really don't.
Somebody commented on one of my posts and said they thought that they could somehow end in a 3-way final.
I saw that. And like, they had the math worked out.
Well, and so it would be Fletcher, Okada, and Takeshita.
Right. And those two would be so preoccupied.
And Okada and Takeshita would be so preoccupied with each other that Fletcher would win it.
Yeah, I was going to bring that up.
Yeah. I think that's not out of the question.
No.
I think that's an interesting possibility.
Yeah. I think that's definitely a possibility.
But then a match you would have thought they would have held off got announced for Dynamite next week is Claudio and Moxley.
Right.
They're wrestling next week.
Yeah.
And they also announced Pac versus Okada.
Mm-hmm.
We saw that match once last year. That's insane.
Yeah.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
Oh my God. Yeah. I'm super. That's going to be so
And you're just
fucking
getting
good.
that on a Dynamite.
On television. Yep.
Wild.
I know. It's
wild.
And yeah, I love the fucking C2, man. It's just so good.
It makes you so excited to be a wrestling fan. It really does.
It's
so degree I hated this, but I didn't hate it as much as I thought I would.
No, and you know what? Just like the crowd says, fuck Don Callis, fuck Blade Daly.
Oh, thanks, man.
Yeah.
Well,
And I got nothing more to say to you.
Until next week, I'm Blade Daly.
And I am Professor Degree.
Pro wrestling forever.
Bitch.
Sickos Club. Sickos Club.